curious, like, so why try to expose him? Like, because it seemed like you were trying to paint him, like, I don't know, as a hypocrite or a deadbeat or not a Christian man because he wanted an abortion. But it seems very clear that, at least from kind of the conversation we've had and from some of the stuff that's, been talked about on the internet, like, it seems like you had no intention of actually keeping the baby. Is that fair to say?
I had intention when I called him.
Okay.
And even though when things happened, I still wasn't sure. I was going back and forth, thinking what to do.
You were on the fence.
Only I think actually I went to the parenthood twice. First time when I tried to get rid of it, I didn't. I left.
Right.
I was crying. I didn't.
Okay.
And I did it. I went back the second time.
But so
can I ask just briefly?
Yeah.
I was just curious if I could get some clarification. Have you ever taken Plan B or any contraception of any kind before?
No, we don't have this thing. We have an emergency pill. If someone
in China?
Yeah. But we don't have birth control like that. We have.
Yeah. Have you ever taken that emergency pill before?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, before all this.
Not with Walter, yeah, but if.
No, I know, but in China, you've taken it before.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. How does that one work? You have to wait till you're pregnant and then you take it.
Or you take it the morning after.
Yeah.
I can take within 48 hours.
Wait, so Andrew, I think when it comes to the plan with the Plan B pill, it's possible that you can take that pill prior to conception.
Sure. That's why I'm asking about this specific pill she's talking about. I'm just wondering,
right?
Do you have to conceive, or how does that pill in China, the emergency pill, work?
So after the intimacy, you can take it within 72 hours. That's the maximum time.
Okay, and you have taken those pills before, right?
I had, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, so when you were trying to, because it seems your goal is to expose him. Expose him for being a pro-choicer, being a deadbeat. Is that?
Yes.
But so why try to expose him for that when that's, you opted to get the abortion. So why expose him for essentially?
When I did it was just very emotional. I was just very, very mad at that time, and I didn't want to get an abortion at that time when I exposed it. I only decided later, because things get really worse, and he never showed up after that. It's he gave me no choice.
Well, hold on. Plenty of women who are pregnant, but even if the dad's totally out of the picture.
Yeah.
In
this country, but not in my country. It's not something very uncommon. Men take accountability in China. If they impregnate a woman, they will take responsibility. It's something that's abnormal for me.
But he's an American, right? Or
that's why I didn't
Barbados
I didn't know. I only got here last year on.
Well, you were
October.
planning to stay here, right?
Well, now wait, no, hang on, wait a second. I'm confused. Maybe you can clarify this for me. If you have taken this pill before in China, but you say that the culture in China is that they always take accountability, why take the pill?
Because sometimes you have casual sex and things could happen.
Okay, so this, so when you were having casual sex in China, so when you would have casual sex in China from time to time, you would take this pill to prevent yourself from conceiving. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just wanted to get clarification on this. Go ahead, Brian, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, it just seems so the efforts to expose him and ruin his reputation for precisely the same behavior and conduct that you ultimately did. You wanted to expose him. Here's this Christian man who tried to get me to get an abortion. Here's this guy who seems like he's going to be a deadbeat. Mm-hmm. But you got an abortion, so I'm just why expose him for conduct that you're basically his conduct is your conduct?
I told you when I exposed him, I didn't want to do the abortion.
I think what he's trying to say is he's trying to, you kind of enabled him to do that to you because there was all these signs he's not a good dad. If you watch Fresh and Fit, he's not boyfriend, not husband.
I don't watch Fresh and Fit, and
what?
It just comes like you basically just got like
why expose him if you agreed to his terms?
I don't agree his term.
But
No,
you
but why-
did it. But you went through with the abortion. That's what we're saying. That's what he wanted you to do, and you went through with it. So you kind of did agree to his terms.
because you didn't have to have the abortion, you know.
Yeah, but people.
Well, but hang on. In her defense, though, right? He deserved to be. Hang on. In your defense, he deserved to be punished for this. You know, I mean, he deserved it, right?
Yes. Then what's the point? Like, what
Yeah.
the question about here? Like, if you think I did wrong by leaking his message, fine, I accept it. But if you say he didn't do anything wrong, I don't agree with it. Like, I don't see what's the argument here. Like,
I'm not saying
you guys
I'm
trying
not
to,
making any accusations at all. I'm just saying, in your defense, if something like that happened to me, and I felt like I was fooled in some way, or I felt kind of like I had been made a fool of, I would be super upset, and I would want to get some revenge on a person. You know what I mean? Like, if that happened to me, that's how I would feel. I would literally feel like I needed to get some kind of revenge on them for making me feel like I was a fool.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
You would?
What's that?
I said you would.
Yeah, I mean, don't you? Don't you feel like that too?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I guess that's my perspective too, right?
Okay, I understand what you mean right now.
So,
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll turn it back over to Brian.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems like in this situation, though, you said that he forced you to get the abortion. But I'll know, at least here in the United States, Nick, could you close that? So here in the United States, I mean, Walter and men in general have really zero reproductive rights at all. So as a woman, if you want to abort the child, you can. If you want to keep it, you can. There's nothing a man can do in either scenario to either force you to keep it or force you to get an abortion. Now, it could certainly be the case that the man in a scenario where a woman's pregnant could be a terrible father. I'm not making that accusation towards Fresh, but just to make an argument. Just because a man's would be a deadbeat, or he's causing you stress, that would not be him forcing you to get an abortion.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Coercion for abortion is actually illegal in all 50 states. There is laws against this.
Well, when you say coercion, what do you mean precisely?
It means intimidating somebody, threatening them online, embarrassing them. You could look all of this up online.
Okay, let me look it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
coercion,
to respond to
abortion.
this, I actually would agree that coercion to make somebody do anything, regardless of what it is, would be a crime in all 50 states, not just abortion, right?
Like, if you're a man and you're going to knock someone up, the best bet is to just not tell them to abort it and let them make the decision for themselves, instead of telling them, oh, I can't afford it, or oh,
yeah,
if you
sure,
don't do this.
but to my point, if you don't mind responding to my point, coercion for anything would be illegal in all 50 states, correct?
Yeah.
So it's not specific to abortion. It's specific to anything which you utilize coercion, which is why coercion is such a specific term. Usually coercion has some type of implicit threat of violence or something like this. I mean, surely neither of you ever felt like you were physically threatened by Walter, right? Like, you certainly didn't feel threatened.
By his partner, yes.
You felt physically threatened by Walter?
Yeah, not Walter, but I believe
not Walter.
I believe Myron represents Walter because he was silent, and Myron was saying that he wished he's a woman so he can punch me in the face, he can beat me up, and all that. Like, on public he said that many times.
But you just said, hang on, but you just said that you didn't feel any type of coercion from Walter. Like, he didn't feel physically threatened from him. Neither of you felt physically threatened from Walter. I mean, I heard the call, and Walter said in the call, you said, well, what are you going to do about it? And he said, nothing. He said, nothing. I'm not going to do anything about it. That doesn't sound like a threat.
Is he a part of Fresh and Fit?
Well, sure. But if I was let's assume for a second that me and Brian were partners on whatever. We're not, but assume that we were. if Brian said bad things about you and I didn't say bad things about you, how would that be me coercing you? I don't understand. That wouldn't be me doing anything to you. So I'm just saying, if you didn't feel actually physically threatened in any way by Walter or either of you,
his company, who represent him, did.
I'm sorry, say that again. I just want to make sure I heard it correctly.
His company.
Oh yeah, his company. But did his company ever physically threaten you, or?
Fresh and Fit represents Walter Weeks.
Well, no, wouldn't Walter represent Fresh and Fit?
And his lawyer told him to not say anything.
Shout out, James Sexton.
Yeah, and then so he couldn't say anything, so he decided to let Myron to do everything. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, but I mean, you would have to hold Myron responsible for that, right? But Walter himself, did either of you actually, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. Did either of you ever actually feel threatened in any way, shape, or form physically from Walter?
No.
I didn't know.
No, but neither of you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I pulled this up. So I mean, at least the initial definition here from Oxford Dictionary. I just typed this into Google. Coercion, the practice of persuading someone to do something by using force or threats. So is it your guys' position that he coerced either of you in any way?
They have a site, CAFA, the Center of Abortion something, but there's specific laws on abortion coercion.
Okay.
Yes, they do have specific laws on that.
Okay. There's laws?
Yes.
What
you can't
can I Google them?
Yeah, go ahead.
What would it be called? Should I Google?
It's like the Center, CAFA, something like that.
CFA Institute?
Just look up abortion coercion and the link should pop up.
Okay. So it's a criminal law? Abortion, coercion.
I'm not too sure about the details on it.
And coercion has to involve like a threat, or it could just, like, for example, would me like pressuring you to get an abortion, would that be coercion?
Yes, that's coercion.
Like if I was like, babe, I'm not ready for a child, please get an abortion, would that be coercion?
I mean,
No.
I don't know specifically, but
No, in your view of whatever the term coercion is, if we were dating, I got you pregnant, I didn't want to have the kid, and I was like, babe, I'm not ready to have the kid, can't have the kid, don't want the kid, please, please, please get an abortion. Is that coercion?
I would consider that coercion.
Really?
Yeah.
What about if a guy begged for sex that way? Would that be coercion?
I mean, that's a really weird thing to compare that to, but
well, I don't know.
Like
I mean, I heard that. I heard tales from women like that when I was in high school, and then college age women all the time. Is that coercion from your worldview? If they just beg you to do something a bunch?
I guess that would depend on who you ask. Me personally.
But I'm asking you, yeah.
I mean, no. I would still say no.
Hold on. Well,
no.
Let me even use a different example. If let's say I just asked you, I just said, hey, listen, I'm not ready to have a kid. Would you consider getting an abortion? Is that coercion?
If it's a question, no. But if you're saying, I can't have a kid, I'm broke, I don't have money for it, I don't want a kid, that's coercion. You can't get someone pregnant and then tell them to abort it just because you don't want the kid. That's totally up to the woman, and the man has no say.
Well, sure, but I mean, so I think even in the prior example, I asked for it. So you're saying if it's a statement instead of a question, then it would be coercion.
Yes.
What if the statement is, for example, I'm just coming up with this off the top of my head, but hey babe, I'm not ready. I love you, but I'm not ready yet to have a kid. Maybe down the road we can do that. I'm not ready to have a kid. I'd like for you to get an abortion. Is that coercion?
I mean, not in that sense, because
well, it's not a question. I'm stating I'd like for you to get an abortion. Is that coercion?
If you're saying I would like for you to, instead of I'm telling you to, then no, that's not coercion.
It's not clear to me, though. Even if a man were to say, I'm telling you to get an abortion, first off, he would have no legal right to actually force you to get it. But even if he were to say it,
There's a reason that they have laws on this. I mean, if you have the link, let's look at it.
So if a man were to say, I'm telling you to get an abortion, but he has no intention of otherwise being mean to you or threatening you in any way. He's not threatening you. He's just saying, I'm telling you to get an abortion. I'm telling you, babe, you have to get an abortion. I can't do this. Is that coercion?
I think so, yes.
But do you think it's fair if he's saying that, like, to the woman and then she still keeps the baby and has it?
Yeah, she should be able to do whatever she wants with it.
I'm not an expert in the definition of coercion.
That's why
it's not clear to me if that would be coercion to just be like,
well,
any of the scenarios I gave.